What's up, everybody? First thing is Happy New Year and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to anyone who celebrates. Today I'm going to talk about something that is a problem, and I thought I'd never have to talk about this problem again because I thought they learned from their lesson from the first time. We are on the Reddit today, just as a little backdrop, but it very much pertains to what I'm going to talk about. Um, Rogues right now are an issue. Um, People can say they're not an issue. I'm gonna get the comments are probably gonna tell me that they're not an issue. They die in one hit, but the game is as a rogue main. I'm saying this like it's a problem. With the last hotfix or the last like two hotfix, I'll combine them in the one because they were basically one hotfix. So in the last hotfix, they took away the short sword from rogues and gave them daggers back. They nerfed short sword. Movement speed penalty when you're swinging, so it is a lot worse. Um, it would still be the main weapon because it's not that terrible if daggers didn't get absolutely bustedly overtuned. So they gave all daggers across the board a flat damage increase. Um, and then on top of that, gave thrust and dagger mastery a buff. With that combined, with the dagger damage, you get stupid, silly numbers with a little bit of gear and ambush procs. Um, Everyone at this point knows that Invis is the best skill in the game. Um, there's very minimal counter to it, if any at all. There is no counter to the damage. Like it just gets hit. Like they could just run at you, pop the invis, and just hit you twice, and you die. So like, with that kind of play style and having with that kind of damage output and having the strongest ability in the entire game, and if they keep it the way it is, it will always be the strongest ability in the entire game. The ability to just go invisible at a push of a button is so innately strong across any game, and I don't think the invisibility needs to be changed as much as I mean at this point they got to do something though. I don't know what they could do without just making rogue not viable in any scenario or just way overtuned. I thought the patch, the one right before this hot patch, with the short sword, I thought short sword was too strong. I mean, it was really strong. There's nothing you could do to peel me off because of how fast I could move as I'm swinging it, and because I'm so fast, I can like kind of like strafe in a circle around your swings, and it's really hard to hit. So that's too strong. Then they went and said, okay, we see that as too strong. We see that as overperforming. We're going to nerf it. We're going to nerf what we think needs to be done. And I do think they did the right kind of nerf for making that movement speed penalty more. That was good. It still is a fine weapon to use if you don't have the dagger. Like, if they didn't nerf the dagger, or if they didn't overly tune the daggers, you would still be using short sword because daggers were in the worst spot they've ever been in the game, and now they're probably in the best spot they've ever been in the game, other than maybe in the very beginning of early access and through the playtest where you could put out like 200 a swing with it because of how broken Rogue was. And it's almost to that point. It's not to that point, but that point was so far and like above like overpowered. It doesn't mean that we're still not like extremely overpowered right now. It's as a rogue, it's annoying to even play the game, and I am a rogue, so because I know there's gonna be other rogues that are just gonna tap you. Like we stay in a constant state of advantage because of the invisible button. Like as soon as we spawn on the map, we have advantage over everyone because we can go invisible. I don't know if any of y'all came from like fighting games, but there's neutral, advantage, and disadvantage states in those kind of games. Neutral is just like spacing out in each other. Advantage is when you're, pushing, like if you have frame advantage or anything like that. And disadvantage is like if you're being juggled or if you're in a combo, or like if your moves have lag on the end of them and they can be punished. With Rogue, you spawn in and it's never a neutral game. You're always in advantage as long as your invisibility is up. You do have that 38 seconds of not having the invisibility, but it doesn't really matter because we're so fast we can just kite you around until it comes back and then immediately have advantage. If we don't just kill you with that first, the first invis, like there's nothing more annoying than knowing that I can't even walk through a door or I'm just going to explode. And I'm like I said, I play Rogue. I main Rogue. I top 10 on the duos leaderboard as a Rogue. And it's really bad for the game as a whole. I assume they're going to fix it. They have to fix it. I'm surprised this went on this long. It's been like a week and a half since the last hotfix that really made them busted. With the Castilian, you can literally just burst down a PDR rogue running, or not a PDR rogue, a PDR fighter in like 2-3 hits with a Castilian out of invis, and they die before they can even react. That's why everybody, I know the comments are gonna be, oh, Rogue dies in 2 hits, oh, Rogue has no health, that's the only thing he has. The only thing it is the only thing we have, but it's too much. I don't know. I don't get the counter argument for not nerfing Rogue at this point. Just take away the dagger shit and just go back to the short sword. Like, it'll be a little weaker, but it won't be too much. It won't be too little. It's just, the game's not fun to play. I played like 3 games just not too long ago, and it really made me want to make this video because it was either I got 2-tapped, I 2-tapped somebody else, and it's boring. It's not fun to play against. It's not fun to play with. They got to do something. Like, I just pulled this up. I just clicked onto the Reddit and seen like this is one of the top posts, and I mean I agree with this. I don't know about the solo. I think the number 1 solo is a fighter. I don't know about the solo and the trios leaderboard because I don't care because I don't like those modes. Well, I don't like the maps that they were on. I don't like Goblin Caves and I don't like Crypts. But I know for sure that we were dominating the duos leaderboard. I think either 6 or 7 out of the top 10 are all rogues, me and Dez included. If you exclude me and Dez, it's still 4 of the top 10. And I know the leaderboard isn't nothing to look at because it's not any account of how skillful anyone is, because it's just how much loot can you get per game. But you can't ignore it completely either, because it is going to be like a numbers game, like how many people are playing Rogue, and it is, maybe other than Fighter, because Fighter is like the beginner's class that everyone picks in the beginning, and they just kind of stick with it. Maybe other than Fighter is probably the most played class, if not the most played class, and with good reason. It is extremely strong in so many ways, and just if you want to make a fuck ton of money, go make a fuck ton of money. If you want to go kill everyone in the lobby, you easily can kill everybody in the lobby. The only way I see them nerfing it is either like do something with invis to, like, I don't know what they could do with invis. I don't want to say like put a number on how many times you could go invisible, because that's a lot. Like, if they make it like, oh, you can go invisible 5 times this game and then you can recharge them at a campfire, maybe. But going invisible 5 times is still a lot. Like, you can still kill almost everyone. They could nerf ambush to where it's even less damage than what it is now. I think it's 30%, where it was 50 and now it's 30. They could nerf that again. But they've nerfed the wrong things several times. Like double jump, like it was used, everyone used it because it was good, but it wasn't like game-breakingly annoying to deal with. Like if they're double jumping away, like they're just double jumping away. They're not gonna kill you with double jump, whereas with thrust and dagger mastery, you're just gonna explode. And there's not much you could do about it. Like the only real counter to a rogue being invisible behind a door is a warlock with Hydra, and warlock is really bad. Like if that's why you're running a warlock, that you're probably still gonna get killed anyways because you're a warlock. Light orb isn't good enough, and everyone else doesn't have that ability. They can't, just reveal a rogue. It's nobody else can do it, so they'll just die with very, very minimal counterplay to it. I think they should remove Invis completely, because it's also adding to an unfun game, and that's not just on rogue, that's on every single class. And they should nerf the daggers again, especially Castilian. Castilian got way overtuned. Castilian has to get nerfed, but then everyone's just going to go to the stiletto. Everybody loves the stiletto, and it's doing the same thing. So I'm not sure what they could do. They have to nerf the daggers again, and hopefully within the next week they do. I'm probably not going to play. I haven't been playing a lot anyway since the rotation, because that shit is terrible. But I got on just to fool around, and it was just rogues with daggers, and nothing you can do, including myself. Like, I'm not without blame, because I do it too. Like, I two-shot a full PDR fighter with a Castilian out of Invis with the second and third hit. There's just not a lot he could do. I dealt 200 to him before he could turn around. And let's say he was like Toddfather level gear, and I am invisible. I get the drop on him, and he has like 60 PDR with a 200-ish health. If I get the full 3-hit combo on him, and at least the third one connects to the head, he's probably still dead, because with my level of gear versus his level of gear, and even if I have slightly worse gear than him, I'm probably still going to kill him, because he's going to swing a falchion at me after I've already got 2-3 hits on him, and then my next combo is going to come out before the second swing of the falchion is going to get out me, and that's the second swing is what's going to kill me. But I've hit him 4 to 5 times, because the first 2 or 3 were just completely unreactable, and he's going to die. It's not really fair to him, because he didn't do anything wrong. He's just walking, and it's just not a fair or fun experience for anybody. It makes the game really slow, because you have to just, am I going to walk through this door and explode, or am I going to wait a minute and a half to make sure there's no rogues invisible and make sure they run away, so they have to wait for their minute cooldown, and then they're just in the next room, and then you got to do it all over again. It's a huge game of just cat and mouse, but nobody can push. Like if you have a rogue on your team, they can't push you because they might be invisible and 2-tap you, and if they have a rogue at all, you can't push them because they're going to be invisible and 2-tap you. So it's really, really bad. They have to do something. I'm not going to say it's going to kill the game, because at this point nothing's going to kill the game. If the rotation hasn't killed it, nothing will. But it will leave a sour taste in people's mouth. Like, we, as a community, we all have a sour taste in our mouth from rogues from the last time they were extremely overpowered. And they were, like, by infinity way more overpowered then than they are now, but it's still too much now. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. You have to do something. I hope Iron Mace does anything. I don't know what they can do to make it not to where Rogue's useless, or to where Rogue is just the best character in the game. Because there's been like 2 patches where Rogue was just not the best fight character in the game. In a vacuum, of course. In a trio, you need to have the cleric and the wizard. And then probably right now Rogue, because they're just so strong. But they have to fix something. If y'all agree with me, which I hope a lot of you do, because it is a very bad state. If you're a Rogue main and you think, oh, we're fine, we get one tapped anyways by everybody, it's your problem. I don't know what to tell you. Because you can't look at it and say that, oh, that's okay. If you disagree with me like that, and if you're a Rogue and you disagree with me, I don't care. You're biased. But if you're another character and you disagree with me, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you could leave them down, I'll respond to them. I'll respond to every comment, except for Rogue saying that we one tapped. We're so bad. We got the one thing. Like, yeah, you're not helping. But but everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year again. I'll catch y'all later. I'm probably not gonna be streaming because I have been on Tarkov a lot, because that game is actually decent. But yeah.